Okay, so this is a recording of me processing the data that I got from you guys. So you see here, this is the Word document that I received from Shannon. So I'm going to show you how to process this to make it work. I'm just going to record my steps. So I'm going to copy that, right paste. I'm going to paste it into here. Okay, and then next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and clean this data up. So what I like to do is insert a column over here, and then because I don't know exactly which information is important for you guys, I'm going to go through and do it this way. I'm going to make things up as I go. So that's still varu, but it's going to be identified by that local identifier. So it seems there's two identifiers. There's the community that it's in, and then there's the actual site. Or maybe I should say that the opposite. But we'll call this next group varu2ca, just to give. So we're going to be able to track what we're looking at. And I'm going to go through and assign these all the way down, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like in a second. Well, you won't know the difference. All right, it took me a few minutes, but it was like immediately for you. So this is now, it's a little bit more processed, and what I like to do is just copy it all into a new sheet. Oops, it won't let me. Copy, and then I paste it into the document. And then next I just go through, and now you see it's fairly cleaned up, but we want to make this look like a lookup table. So it's going to look something like this. This is from one of the other data sets that you guys had sent me. So I'm going to go through and select the columns to delete, or not columns, I guess. What are those? Rows. Whoops. And you can see the names as I'm going through what I did. Wow, that's wild. I did not know if you're holding down the control button and you use your mouse scroll, you can zoom in and out. Holy cow, that is so cool. The funny things you learn. So then I'm just going to right click there and say delete. And okay, so it's now beginning to look a little bit more like a lookup table, like our text table that we want it to be. We're going to have to format the latitude and longitude as well. So I want to keep this a unique identifier name. So what I like to do is use text to columns. Data, where's my text to columns? Text to columns. And let's just say this is separated by the S in south. That seems to have worked for me in past. Not fixed with delimited. And we're going to say other, and we're going to use S. See, look, I did it before I cheated. I knew it was going to happen. And I'm going to say, before I do, I always want to save this column extra, because it massacres the column when you do this. So text to columns. I'm going to say it's delimited, next, and we're using the S. So finish. Boom, it separated out. Now we've got our unique identifier. That's cool. Okay, one step closer. And now I'm going to do text to columns by the E, because if I use a comma, or I could use the comma, that would be better. Yes, I will use the, no. Is there a comma in every spot? There's some that there's not, and we'll just fix those manually. But is there any commas before? No. Okay. I'm going to use commas for this one. See, this is just kind of cleaning up. We could just use comma delimited, but this works just as well. See, there's one that didn't work, but let's just catch it up with the others. this. I just want to say Control X. It seems to, oh, because the minus sign is there, it wants to think that it's a math problem. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to step back a little bit here. And find and replace. I guess that's home, isn't it? Yeah, find and replace. Replace the dash with nothing. Okay, that's a little cleaner. And then I'm going to just get that guy over there and see if there's any others. Okay, that's all from here. There's still some more cleanup over here. But you're getting the idea. So I don't need to make this whole video about this cleanup stuff. And we can just, but I'm going to just do a couple of actions just so you can see what I'm doing. Just cleaning up all the tables. We've got some periods there, full stop, and still there's a couple of these guys. Otherwise that's clean. Find and replace. Let's do those slashes. We can't have the slashes. We're really trying to make this table as data-like as possible. I do a space and then nothing, and then I get rid of all those, and then there, that's clean. And I'm going to call this IFAD because it doesn't have a name. Okay, and then that column's clean. So let's go ahead and start naming these columns. So we've got our locality, we've got our site ID, and we've got our latitude, and we're going to have our longitude here. Okay, I need to think of a strategy here to clean these up. The one thing I know I'm going to do is replace these guys with the degree symbol. So I just come over here and say copy. There's ways we can do that, you know, character map and stuff like that and get it, but we've got it now just by saying copy and paste. And this is going to be the apostrophe symbol, and we're going to paste that in, and I'm going to say replace all. And it wasn't found, so it's recognizing this, I think, as something else. So I just copy that and then paste it in here. There he goes. Well, 194, that was a lot. Looked like it did it on both, but that's okay. That's alright. Replace all the spaces and backspace them so they're all clean. Okay, so I'm done with the latitude now, it looks like. I'm done with latitude. Although, that being said, should it be? Let me go back to my, should it say negative? No, it just has to have south in the front. So, what I'm going to do is just use a concatenate. So I'm going to use more functions. Sorry, I don't use this often, so I'm going to go look for more functions, and then we want to use concatenate. Okay, so I'm going to say S, and then that guy, and then it makes it look like it's supposed to right there, like that. So, and then I can just copy these guys, Control C, and then come over here, and then I'm going to say paste as numbers. So then now it's numbers and not any kind of field. Okay, so you get the idea. Now I'm going to do that same process for the east, for the longitude, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that is it. I'm doing this live to you guys, so if I make mistakes, sorry, I'll try to make this video as short as possible, but I probably won't edit it. I'm just going to post this straight to um, YouTube for you guys to see. So let me see, just before we move forward, if everything looks okay. I don't know where that column was. Did I move that column? It's looking good. I don't see any problems. Let's compare it to our numbers that we got to work, and we're sure that works. So the format is 07 degrees 56.261. So this is what you call decimal minutes. So it goes to the minutes, and then the minutes are in the seconds are in decimals. Okay, so that's all good. Now I'm going to save it. It's still in my Excel format. I'm going to save it as a text file, just a CSV, comma delimited.csv. So that's a text format. And save. Okay. And let's just close that. We can close this now. And let's just double check what that CSV. So I meant to open it up as a text file. It opened up below as an Excel, but that's okay. I'm going to say open with a text editor. So now you see location, site ID, lat, long, and now we're going to bring this. We have a little bit of junk down below. That's okay. That was just some extra fields. And I'm trying to see if there's any. No, everything looks good. You can usually see it in a pattern. So we don't need that. I'm not going to save it. Okay, so in the next step, I opened Google Earth. I use Google Earth Pro, by the way. I don't know if it's the same in Google Earth, the regular Google Earth version that you download, or even if people even download it anymore. But you can go online and download Google Earth Pro. Just look up Google Earth Pro. It's free to anyone. It might have added functionality. I'm not exactly sure. I've just always used the one that said Google Earth Pro, but it is free, and I'm sure you can find how to load it or download it. And if not, just let me know, and I can even put it on a Dropbox, so it'll be easier for you if your internet is too slow. Okay, so I'm just going to now say open, and I'm going to go to that points, those points. I put it in Points4, and it's right now a .csv file. Let's see, we've got that .csv format option, or you could also just say all files. And what we want to open is that points4.csv and say open. Now we get some, we have to set some criteria. It's a delimited text. Yes, that's true. It's comma. We could say other and put comma there just the same, or we could use other delimiters. And then we come down here and we look, and it says location, site ID, lat, long. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. That's just a preview. It only has 10 lines. Let me see there. I wanted to see about labels. Let's click through this. So we've got this data set does not contain, it does. It's latitude and longitude. If those names are different, you could just set them. Next, let's see. The location is a string. Location is it is a string. Site ID was string. I think we can leave this as string. And then let's just say finish. Do you want to apply a style template to the features that you ingested? Let's just say no. If we have one, like points that we want to use, we could say we've got a one. Let's see, we're zooming in. Why do not? Okay, hold on, places. See, And we turn it on, and let's see where they are. Okay, so Simbo, and there's points up here. You guys probably know better than I do. That looks like it's a little bit off though. P5. How are we doing? This looks like it might be the same points that we had already done before. Um, for yeah, some of the other KMLs that I'd sent you guys. No worries. It looks like we got all the points in, and you can see that they've got the latitude and longitude information, the site ID, and such. So you guys probably know if these are correct better than I do. Okay, so after we have our points in here, we might want to label them. There's no super easy way. I've researched this. I might need to do a little bit more on the best way to label. I thought it was easier than it is, but see right here, I'm just going to left click on it so I get my information. You see it brings me to the point that it is over here. And if we want to, we could just, I'm copying and paste that, and then we come over here and say rename, and we can label everything. That can be quite tedious. I was hoping there'd be a more automatic way, but there's not. So then we're still working in the CVS file, but I'm going to CSV, sorry. I'm going to just go ahead and now save places as, and I'm going to save it as a KMZ file. We could save it as a KML or a KMZ. I'll save it as a KML just to, because I think that's what I had given you guys before. Or did I give you a KMZ file? No, I gave you a KMZ file, so I'm going to give you KMZ file now. So .4 KMZ, and then save. And let's close this just so I can show you that now as we open the KMZ, it comes in with the same symbology. See, and it's even got the same one labeled that I had labeled before. Okay, that's it. I'm going to send you guys this KMZ file. I'll take out that label, and you guys can label them if you want to. And that's the process. I don't mind doing these. Send them to me if you like, but that's the editing process that I use. Thanks, guys. Hope you're well and safe.